Hey everyone, this is PrinceWatercress, and welcome back to Let's Play Bomberman 93 for the TurboGrafx 16 and PC Engine. We have unlocked the 7th world, Techo, which is a computer world, and of course the boss is going to be the Black Bomberman, which we have no info on because he's the final boss, obviously. So we got 7 more regular stages as well as a boss stage, and then that will be it for this game. Couple of new enemies here, these big orange balloons that split into 2 when you kill them. You're going to have to kill off the 2 mini balloons that it splits off into to finish the job. You have these green owl-like creatures that go pretty fast, tend to go back and forth. And you have these green Hershey's Kisses like enemies that go really slow. But the worst enemy of all, which I just kill without really showing off very much, are these blue robot heads. Not only do they destroy the destructible obstacles, but if they see you, they go in for the kill. They speed up and come after you. So you want to be very careful when you see them. And if you need to run away from a lot of enemies, feel free to do so, especially if you have the ability to walk through walls, which, believe you me, not dying in this game really works wonders. Also, you have less time in these stages than usual. I believe you usually start off with 4 minutes, and like I've been doing in all of the previous worlds and previous stages, you definitely want to destroy the enemies as quickly as possible. Just get them out of the way as quickly as you can, and then immediately deal with finding the exit. Because the more time you have, the more time you can spend looking for the exit without being hounded by any enemies and whatnot. So you definitely want to be able to just take care of all the enemies first, try not to hit any power-ups, try not to hit any exit tiles, and then carefully make a huge sweep of the area with the power-ups that you have. As you can see here, I now have less than 2 minutes to get this done. And I found that clock power-up, which would have stopped the enemies for a little while, which is pretty much useless now because I killed all the enemies already. And there's the exit, so let's go ahead and continue on to G2. New enemy here, these little yellow guys, or big yellow guys rather, that split up into 2 little yellow guys. Much like the balloon guys that we saw in G1. They tend to stay away from you a little bit. And you also have these robots, these little teal colored robots that go fairly fast and can tend to stay away from your bombs whenever possible. And then you have these race car enemies. They can come after you, they can run away from your bombs, so you want to be pretty crafty when it comes to taking these guys down. If you need to, just kick a bomb towards them, and then when it stops in front of them, just ignite the bomb if you have the kick power up in the remote detonation, which we will be picking up here, so in case you need it, you have one last chance at getting it. Also, that robot head enemy helped us find some bananas. I want to get those. And it's good to be able to drop 8 bombs at once, because when you know what you're doing, and you can get out of the way of all the bombs, it makes finding the exits in all these stages a lot easier. Thanks to my ability to walk through walls, drop multiple bombs, and get quite a bit of range on all of my explosions, I'm able to find the exit fairly quickly. Rainbow tiles are the teleporters, in case you were wondering. Time for G3. Now we have our first vertical stage of World G, and we have these copter enemies that will shoot at you. Unlike the other enemies that we've seen with projectiles, the copter enemies cannot destroy your bombs with their projectiles. Instead, the projectiles will simply cease to be. So in case these things shoot at you, you can actually use a bomb to protect yourself. And then if it somehow manages to move away from you, you can move away from the bomb, and if you're lucky enough, you can actually kill it just like that. And we've already found the bonus, not the bonus, but the exit thanks to the monsters that we faced. I'm gonna go ahead and kick that thing to the south there, so that way I can get rid of that race car enemy, which will prove to be very annoying. Oh, and those purple things, those are the conveyor belts. They make a return from World 6. Planet Icicle. And then we have another new enemy here, these blue robots, which will drop these mines. These mines will destroy you to the touch, so you definitely want to blow them up with a bomb before proceeding where those mines are. And we've taken care of all the enemies. I've already gotten the power up, so you might as well just go ahead and go on this G4. Now we got 2 of those robot head enemies. Do not like that at all. And there's an explosion extension power up and the walkthrough ability power up. I'm going to try to get both without getting hurt or blowing them both up. Thankfully I was able to do that. And while I'm taking care of the enemies, okay, there we go. I'm about to say, I want to take care of that copter enemy, but well, we were able to do it. Now to take care of the enemies on the other side of the room here. We don't have any new enemies, but we just have more of the more annoying types that are there is all. And we should be able to get through this fairly soon. Let's go ahead and sweep the room here. Actually, we found both power-ups, so all we need to do now is just find the exits, which shouldn't take too long if we know what we're doing. And there it is. Time for G5. G5 introduces 2 new enemies into the mix. We have the green robots that take 2 hits, don't seem to drop mines though, and we have the red robot heads, which also take 2 hits. That red robot head only took 1 hit right there because it probably ran into a mine dropped by a blue robot. The red robot heads are even worse than the blue ones, because they can go through walls and chase after you, making them one of the worst enemies in the game, bar none. Right now we only have to deal with one of them, and because that enemy ran to a mine, well, it was pretty easy this time around, but we may not be so lucky next time. And 2 really good multi-kills right there. I did very good right there. Also, it really pays to keep your power-ups. So that way, you can do this. Also, yes, the rotating ball and block combination things make an appearance here as well. Time to take a sweep of the area, no flashing blocks, so it's time to go ahead and move to the next area. G6! We got another red robot head, and this time we have to deal with 2 of them. At least I was able to use my power-ups to my advantage and take care of these guys fairly quickly. And try to do so without getting hurt by either my bombs or the enemies. And as you can see here, it's pretty easy in Planet Techo to be bombarded with enemies. So if you need to move away, do so. If you don't have a lot of the power-ups because you kept on dying, like say the ability to walk through walls or the ability to drop multiple bombs, you want to clear a path first. Give yourself time to maneuver, give yourself a way to maneuver while you have the time, and then you want to take care of the enemies from there. The blue robot heads kind of help a little bit in that regard if you're trying to like make a path from like one side of the board to the other. But in case you see the red robot heads or the race car enemies or the blue robot heads, you do want to make discretion the better part of your valor. There's a kick power-up, which we won't need, but I will be picking it up for the points anyway. And we got another bomber copper guy. Already got the necessary power-up. Time for G7. G7 doesn't bring you anything new, so you're just putting together everything that you've learned one more time. And yeah, you want to be careful at the very start of this level, because it is very easy to get surrounded at the very start of this stage. And that's because you have 2 of the big yellow guys and 2 of the big red robot heads. And I believe you have 2 blue robot heads as well. You also want to make sure you get the heart too, because more than likely you're going to be needing it, and you're going to be needing it for the boss. And while it's not exactly a doozy, it is something. And it can be a little bit on the difficult side too if you don't know what to expect. Thankfully we have all the really nasty enemies out of the way. So all that's left is to take care of the stragglers. And we should be good as gold. Love being able to kick a bomb into a place where enemy is hiding just like that. I've already got all of the enemies, and I just now remembered that we picked up the heart, which we are desperately going to be needing. So now it is time to lay down 8 bombs, because we have all the power-ups. Actually 9. I believe you can have as many as 9 bombs dropped on the board at one time now that I'm looking at it. And blow through as much of the board as we can. I could have actually blown some more bombs up right there, but oh well. We did quite a bit of damage in such a short amount of time. There is the ability to drop an extra bomb, so I believe the maximum should be like 9 or 10. Probably 9. Though I could be mistaken. That'll do. And there's the exit. G8 is a multi-boss battle. You have 3 parts to it. The first one involves these 4 bombermen on motorcycles. If you don't have the ability to drop a whole line of bombs by pressing the 2 button twice, you're going to be running around and dropping bombs a lot. Thankfully, the bombermen on the motorcycles only take a few hits. They do drop mines though, so you better be careful where you're going. When you destroy them all, you'll set off an exit tile that'll show up in the center of the room, and you'll finally meet the Black Bomberman in his little flying mecha here. He flies to the upper left-hand corner at first. When he stops there, you want to hit him with some bombs. Manage to get an extra hit right in there. After about 2 or 3 hits, he starts doing this, where he'll spin around and then stop. When he stops, he will shoot his arms out like missiles. Then he will go somewhere else and shoot those walls of fire that will crisscross around the room, and you'll have to stand between 2 blocks where the fire cannot go and just act accordingly. He will stop at a 3rd place to get his arm back, and when that happens, you don't want to be across from him at all. You don't want to risk that. When his mecha suit turns copper like that, you know you have at least 1 more hit to go. And this is where he starts dropping bombs like crazy. When he lands on the ground, you want to hit him with at least 1 or 2 bombs. When he gets back up in the air, you want to stay away from all the bombs that he drops when he goes from one place to another in the air. If he sees one of your bombs, he will shoot off these little fireballs in 4 directions that will cause your bombs to explode, and if you're nearby, you're going to take a hit. Using the ability to kick bombs and then ignite them with remote detonation really works wonders here. You're better off coming in here with power-ups, or else you're going to have a very hard time. And when he turns copper like that, he has 1 more hit to go. And when you get that hit in, you'll be able to get 30,000 points, a 7th power chip, and the ending to Bomberman 93. After this little splash screen, of course. Planet Techo explodes. The other 6 planets are safe. White Bomberman heads back to the city. Puts the 6 power chips in place to get all the electricity restored. The building is also fixed too, with little cartoon bandages. And everything is as it was. We get to see how long it took for us to clear the game, as well as our final score, and then the credits roll. So how is this game? I do like the music and the sound, first of all. Definitely a very good TurboGrafx-16 Flash PC Engine soundtrack. Hudson Soft knew what they were doing with this machine. Even if it doesn't take advantage of the system's true capabilities. Play control is pretty good. Whenever you die in the game, it really does feel like it's your fault. Whether you ran into an enemy or accidentally blew yourself up because you trapped yourself between a bunch of blocks and one of your own bombs. Whatever it is that you killed yourself, you'll definitely feel like it was all your doing and you wish you had actually prevented it rather than blame the game. This one I can consider one of those games that you could probably put in again and again every once in a while just to see if you can get through it, just to kill an hour or 2 at a time. It does get rather tricky at times with some of the bosses, and with Planet Techo, where you can be bombarded by enemies pretty quickly. And would I recommend this game? Well, of course. There is the Virtual Console releases in addition to the TurboGrafx-16/PC Engine game versions of the game themselves. So you should be able to find it in some way. I'm pretty sure there may be compilations that carry this game. I don't know if there are. This game is worth grabbing, as well as Bomberman 94, which I may cover one day, who knows. But anyway, yeah, this is a pretty solid game in the Bomberman series. It gets a little tricky at times, but you'll be glad you played it. If you don't know what to play for the TurboGrafx-16 first, this is one of the games you should get your hands on. And that is it for Let's Play Bomberman 93. Hopefully I will be back with another game. It may be good, it may be bad, it may be so-so in between, whatever it is you want to call middle of the road. And until then, this is PrinceWatercress. Take care, stay safe, thanks for watching, and see you guys later!